I don't think many of us had any of this season's storylines on our bingo card.
You're Locked On Flames, your daily podcast on the Calgary Flames. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Locked On Flames. As always, I am your host, Jess Belmosto, and thank you so much for joining me. Today, I thought it would be fun to review some of the most surprising storylines to come out of this season so far, as we are into the final almost single-digit games now. After tonight's game against Dallas, the Flames have just 11 games left of the regular season. And will they extend the season with this playoff run? Make sure you're subscribed to Locked On Flames wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We are here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your Calgary Flames every day. And let's dive right into this. Well, the fact that we are talking about the playoffs, meaningful hockey at the end of March was nowhere on my radar in the same stratosphere, solar system, galaxy of anything that I was really expecting of the team this season. And honestly, good for the team. I think that they show up, and just when you count them out, they pull you right back in. And that's one of the frustrating parts about this rebuild, retool, regrowth situation. No one expected this. This roster on paper had all the experts saying, yeah, this is more than likely a draft lottery team. You're looking at, bottom 5 placement. Who knows? The Sharks could probably have more points than you when you finish the season. And here we are hoping for a wild card spot. This has been a fun season. It has been an unexpected season. You are getting 30 goal campaigns from your two highest players. Dustin Wolf is coming out of his shell. He did get kind of rocked last year when he first dipped his toes into the NHL waters. But this year, he has been phenomenal. And a lot of the team's success should be, accredited to him and his performance. But I also just think it's incredible that they're even playing like this. This is not an easy feat. The fact that they have 4 come from behind wins in a row says that this team is not going down without a fight. I firmly believe that it will come down to game 82 to determine their fate in the postseason. And that's kind of a good and a bad thing. Had they won at least one of the back-to-back games against St. Louis, we could be looking at an entirely different situation here. But luck has been on their side this year, especially with the defense that has blessed us night after night after night. And Dustin Wolf bails you out. You have Nazem Kadri and Jonathan Huberdeau going on absolute tears. You have a lot of the young kids bursting onto the scene, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But you just have to feel good about this team. The long-term picture, let's forget about that for a second. Let's focus on the here and the now, which is something I don't think is necessarily a good thing, but you can't change it. The Flames did not make any big moves at the deadline. They did not trade Rasmus Anderson. They did not trade Blake Coleman. So you know what? Let's go Kevin balls to the wall and go for it. Like you're going to get a meh draft pick anyways. So why not? Why not shoot for it? Because you've worked this hard. The least that, you could do is maybe extend your season by a couple weeks and put up a good playoff performance. Having consecutive or consistent runs in the playoffs gets you to the finals eventually. You need to be able to crack the playoffs and, figure out what it takes, not only for you as a player, but you as a team to be successful. And I think that that's going to be part of the Flames formula. It has to be. Otherwise, you are going to just drive yourself further and further uh, insane. And I don't expect this team to make a true full run at the playoffs. I don't. However, I do think it would be fun to just have something something real to root for, and something that's not a tank, something that just has the city of Calgary excited, especially after, you know, losing a Calgary icon. Um, just do it for the Gaudreau brothers and use, use all you got. We know that this has been a tough year for a lot of players for a number of reasons. And you know what? Sometimes the universe is just on your side. And I just have to say that the Flames could certainly use something good. They could certainly use something good their way. But coming up next, we are going to talk about Jonathan Huberdeau because, my goodness, just another thing that no one had on their radar, because who expected a 30-goal season from Jonathan Huberdeau? If you're like me, your mornings have to start with a good cup of coffee. But I got tired of settling for grocery store brands that just weren't cutting it. That's why I turned to Trade. And let me tell you, this coffee is next level. Trade is the #1 specialty coffee marketplace in the United States, bringing you fresh made coffee from over 50 of the country's top roasters. Their experts have taste tested thousands of coffees, curating over 450 amazing roasts. Whether you're new to coffee or you know exactly what you like, they'll handpick the perfect match for you. And if you don't love your first bag, no worries, Trade will replace it for free until they get it just right. The subscription makes it easy, so no more last minute grocery store runs or settling for whatever is on the shelf. Right now, Trade is exclusively offering our listeners 40% off of your first order at drinktrade.com/lockedonnhl. That's drinktrade, TRADE.com/lockedonnhl for 40% off of your first order. Drinktrade.com/lockedonnhl. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you're getting your podcast, as well as YouTube. We're here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week. Your Calgary Flames every day. And you know who else is here for us every day? Jonathan Huberdeau. I did not expect him to be performing at this level. Did I expect him to have around the 55 to 60 point mark? Sure. I was hoping we would get to mid 70s, but he would need about 2 points a game. He'd have to have multi-point performance through the end of the season, and I don't know if that's realistic. So if he wants to, he can. He can absolutely prove me wrong. But a lot, if not all, of the reasoning behind the Flames finishing as low as they were projected to was because of Jonathan Huberdeau's lack of offense. And that's not saying necessarily, like, I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but you expected him after having 2 down years to come in and have another down year. So you're going off of a pattern. And he came in and has surprised everyone. You know, having 27 goals, 9 power play goals, uh, through 71 games is crazy. I mean, right now they're playing the Stars, so who knows? Let's see. My phone just lit up. Let's see. Did he score? No, they're just talking about intermission. But it's just so unexpected of Jonathan Huberdeau to come in and have that kind of season. And it should make you feel good. And I know we all want that top draft pick. We all wanted that top 5, top 10 pick. But I think it means a little bit more for Huberdeau to kind of find his groove again. And I'd rather see that because what fun is it going to be in year 5 of 53 to, have him have no confidence left? That's not fun. Hockey, he looks like he's having fun playing hockey again. And it's funny because I did say it took Blake Coleman 3 seasons to get settled and really play that his best hockey. So maybe that's what it was going to take for Jonathan Huberdeau. Just as a guess, because obviously getting acclimated from the state of Florida to Calgary is a little different. And of course, that they're around the same age. It happened. I mean, Huberdeau is playing the best hockey he has as a Flame, and I didn't realize this until I was researching this episode, but a third of Huberdeau's goals are from the play, which is so funny to me because he couldn't. It was just like last year that he just absolutely whiffed on just about every shot he took. And it is so good to see him have confidence in himself, in his game, and just carrying yourself or himself lighter. He moves a lot, I guess, smoothly, or he doesn't look like he's bogged down by knowing he needs to be doing better. And I mean, yes, should he be? Yes, he should be doing better. However, he is doing better by last year's standards and the year before that. So I think things were trending in the right direction for Huberdeau, and just to see him come in the home opener, he started the season with a 4-point night. I thought that was going to be like the only multi-point game we would see from him this season. I was terribly wrong, terribly mistaken, horribly wrong. And he has played so well. Like, you are watching a player fall back in love with the game. And I don't know if it's because of the morale of the locker room, of the great personalities, of, just how things are working in the Flames locker room, even when things aren't working on the ice. He does not look like a shell of himself anymore. That's very, very good. Happy to hear that. And I'm happy for him. I understand that, the draft picks matter and all of that. But like I mentioned before, if he's miserable year after year after year after year after year, you're just going to get worse and worse hockey. And no offense, but he's making $10.5 million. I would like to see at least like a $7.5 million performance out of him. We know we're not going to get $10.5 million, 100-point season ever again, which is fine. Kind of knew that when he was traded here and then signed that extension, but take what you can get and soak up the goodness, because I I do have a feeling that next year might be a little bit different. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Something in my gut tells me things may be a little different. And I think there will be movement this offseason. I think some might be unexpected, but I do wonder if, I mean, I don't think anyone would. I really don't. Does someone call for Huberdeau? I don't think so. But if a team is desperate enough, sounds really mean. But if a team is interested, like, there's still way too much term left on his contract. So I don't think it'll be him. But I do wonder if some pieces from the forward group will move out because things happen. I also think that there will be more movement on the defensive end of things. But coming up next, we're going to talk about the absolute performance, award-winning performance from the youth coming up here next on Locked On Flames. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs puts your post at the top of the page and helps you reach the right candidates faster. I've been in the spot where you need to hire someone maybe like yesterday, and the pressure is on, and every day without the right person is a setback. That's exactly when Indeed sponsored jobs come in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidates right now. Now you can speed up your hiring process with a $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/locked on right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, Indeed is all you need. Thanks everyone for hanging out with me today on Locked On Flames. Make sure you're following me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Jess Belmosto. I could just talk about the Flames young players and their impact. Like, we could do like a telethon or something. Like, I don't know. I'll just get up on my soapbox, talk, and people can answer the phone and take donations. I don't know. But the youth movement of this organization is great. And great feels like an understatement because Dustin Wolf came in and is playing and standing on his head with pylons in front of him, outside of Mackenzie Weegar and Rasmus Anderson when he's on his game. He has been in the conversation for the Vezina since November, December. Oh, it's too early to have those conversations. Well, guess what? He's still hanging around. And he's been around the Calder conversation as well. And honestly, maybe I'm biased, but he has worked his absolute butt off and has not let the Flames fall out of playoff, you know, completely out of the playoff picture. He is the Flames' most valuable player. And what award goes to the most valuable player on the team? That's right, the Hart Trophy. So let's just think about it, because how crazy is it that the Flames have a 23-year-old undersized goaltender with this pedigree of just excellence, and he is just taking over the league, and just he is coming in and making an immediate impact. Again, this is where, if you're hoping for a rebuild, oh, like, I don't want my goalie to be good right now. I want the team to, not even be able to stop a beach ball. That sometimes does happen. We've seen it. But for Dustin Wolf to be this successful and strong and talented at 23 years old, imagine what his prime is going to look like. Imagine. We know that goalies are typically like late bloomers, so their prime isn't really on target with forwards or skaters in general. I see so many good things for him and this team, but he cannot do this alone. He cannot. He needs to have the right pieces in front of him. Zane Perek. I cannot wait until he plays in the NHL and consistently and is a staple part of this team. Connor Zary, like speaking of staples and people you want to build around, Connor Zary. He has been great. He might not find himself on the score sheet consistently. This year he had an injury, and you kind of expect a little bit of regression with the sophomore slump, but I think that he has played incredibly well given the circumstances. I wanted to see him more down the middle. Ryan Huska has different plans, but him, Kadri, and Pospisil are reunited, and they have been great. I think this entire season, Zary has really injected himself into this lineup with the speed, with the scoring ability, with that finishing power, the net front presence. He does not quit until he hears that whistle. And that is something that the Flames have need. I think that him and this next player I'm going to talk about are going to be the game breakers. And I understand. Jess, you talk about game breakers and you're talking Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau. Like, they are not on that level. Correct. They aren't. But you need players that can break open a game. And to me, that is what Matt Coronato and Connor Zary are. And could potentially be, should the Flames use them properly. That is the key. I really, really want to see more of Zary down the middle. Whether it's like the rest of this season, at some points through the rest of the season, the playoffs maybe, or even next season. Like there's no reason why you should not be working to ensure his success is like you're setting him up for success. And Matthew Coronato, a 20-goal scorer in his first, not even, I guess, technically like a full season in the NHL. Unbelievable. When he was drafted, one of the biggest things was his shot and how smooth and how accurate it is. And it has only gotten better since he has joined the Flames. And his skating was a big cause for concern. And he worked all summer with the Flames skating coach. And you see the difference. And, for a kid that was playing college hockey to make the jump and have his little run with the Wranglers, he did need a little bit of time to catch up and kind of that change of pace and the lifestyle change. And I think he has adjusted fantastically. Fantastically? I don't know if that's even a word, but these three players are players you cannot lose. You need to lock them up as soon as you can. In fact, you hand Dustin Wolf a checkbook and you say, what's the number? I don't care that he has one NHL season under his belt. Jeremy Swayman got what he wanted and he's playing like crap. I don't care. Not my goaltender. Dustin Wolf, is so incredibly locked in. And he knows what he needs to do. Matt Coronato. The stamina, the agility, the focus, the grind, the grit, the clutch player that he is going to become so invaluable to this team. And I would say, I don't know if it'll be next year, but there's not a doubt in my mind that Matt Coronato will score 30 goals multiple times over his career. Same with Connor Zary. I think that he's, maybe next season he hits 20, 25 goals. It's just, there's a lot of things that could happen and a lot of good things that could happen if the Flames play their cards right and learn from past mistakes. But that will do it for me here on today's episode of Locked On Flames. Thank you all so much for joining me. I hope you have a fantastic evening, and go Flames go. Make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts, as well as YouTube. We are here for you Monday through Friday, 5 days a week, your team every day. And I will see you all tomorrow for a Friday edition of Locked On Flames.